Nick Sharman and Carl Boyce.
Well, it gets no bigger than this. Semi-finals to join Alyushis Yap in the finals. The lovable Nayoki Oi, lovable in an awful lot of game, versus the esteemed Filipino former world champion Carlo Biado. Delighted to be joined by Carl Boyce in the booth. Carl.
Carlo Biado, a monster on the pool table, former world champ. He knows how to win these big events. Nayoki Oi. Well, what a story if he wins this US Open. And what an interview that would be, by the way.
Yeah, one of a kind indeed.
Is there a possible early chase to 9? Is that a little bit giddy? Probably is. Got such a good safety shot. Get the cue ball back up towards where Marcel stood. That's the referee, of course. Doesn't want to scratch. Doesn't want to scratch. Well, maybe he's wishing he did chase the 9 ball.
Well, he's certainly wishing he did now, Carl. A little bit of a jittery start there for Carlo. And interestingly enough, the 1 and 7 tied up, so perhaps not even an offensive look, or do you think he can just squeeze the carom in there?
Extension, please.
Yeah, it's very tight, isn't it? It's so hard to see from here. Obviously, Nayoki, he's right behind the shot, so he will know better than anyone. So it looks like he's put the cue ball for a bank, but I'm sure the bank doesn't go, does it?
Doesn't look like he can get the 1 past the brown 7, although you're right, Carl, that is what it looks like he's lining up.
Yeah, the balls are that close together, it's just so hard to tell, but it definitely looks like he's playing the bank. And he has gone for the bank. Well, he missed it high. That's not surprising, because it was obviously very tight, so he didn't want to catch the 7, and Carlo, well, he was a little bit fortunate there, wasn't he, the way them balls landed after the scratch.
Very much so, for Nayoki to have to play a half-pocket sort of bank shot.
Yeah, Nick, this is a similar shot. He's going to be getting the cue ball back up, so surely he doesn't. Well, he's took a lot of pace off it. He's got a better line. Needs this ball to bounce. This looks good. Carlo Biado won a classic match against Johan Chua last night. It went hill. Over on table 2 it was. There was a big crowd crowding around, and he was really feeling the pressure on hill.
Yeah, that was an incredible match.
This is a useful kick. Maybe a hair strong, but he found a good line.
Yeah, it was a lovely attempt, but as you said, a hair strong, and I believe all he can do is watch now. I think that 1 ball has crept out. Giving Carlo a look in the top left. Well, both of these players are utterly fantastic when they get going. 2 of the very best. Oi has been surging as of late. Had some dynamite results.
Extension called.
Really traveling the globe.
Yeah, just before this match, at the top of the show, I mentioned that when Nayoki's been playing in the arena and it's been close, he's been very animated, and he's really got the crowd in. This is a bit of a worrying start for Biado. Poor safety shot, and then a ball you would think he should pot.
Indeed, a shaky start, and playing Nayoki brings a certain kind of pressure. He's awfully famous, very confident, just a different kind of energy. Similar to playing a Judd Trump, where we saw players, as he just squeezes that 1 by, we saw players feeling it against Trump as well. You just know there's a lot of eyeballs anyway in the semifinals of the US Open. But again, Nayoki's a beloved player in Japan. I'm sure a lot of them are tuning in right now. Carlo's coming with some kind of a jump safety, perhaps. Try to stop right there. Use the pink and purple if he can. He comes down. And if this bounces enough, he's done quite well with this one.
Yeah, it's a very cagey start to this second semi-final. As we all know, Aloysius Yap is in the final. He's played some great pool all week, Yap, hasn't he, Nick?
Oh, he really has. He's a delight to watch. This one got away from Nayoki a bit, but the 1 and 6 appeared to have congealed on that left-hand side rail, so Biado will have to manufacture a safety of sorts.
Now, will Nayoki be tempted in a bank? That's if it squeezes past the 6. I do believe it does. If he doesn't fancy that, he's got probably 3 options. Could go for the bank, could play safe, putting the 1 ball down below the green 6, and if he's feeling a bit fruity, maybe a carom to make the 7. Let's see what he chooses. Well, that's a little way off, Nick, isn't it? He's missed that by a good foot, so it's a funny start, this match.
Yeah, that beep enter the equation on the backswing, and he sort of rushed it. It has been a funny start, Carl. Semifinals, naturally a massive pressure cooker kind of situation.
This looks very awkward indeed. There's no obvious shot on. Is he trying to... No, he's not trying to get through that gap. Wake up, Cal, come on.
And Carlo has to fade the beep, and he just squeezes it in there, but it looks like the 1 doesn't cooperate, nestling on the 6, so perhaps he'll be freezing Nayoki behind that green 6 ball.
Wants to get this cue ball touching the 6. That's not bad. The beauty is when you get the cue ball touching the green 6 there, is it cuts more options away. So I think he's going to have to go 2 rails.
He'll have something of a go at this, I suppose. 1-2 around. Try to perhaps make the 1. Maybe he can kick underneath the 6 and tickle it back. Looks like he can't.
Foul stroke. Illegal contact, ball in net.
Wasn't an easy kick shot. It's one of them where you wish you could have 2 goes at it just to see how the rails react. But unfortunately you don't get 2 goes, and now this is a genuine chance for the first rack.
It is, and it's vital for Carlo to kind of settle in, shake it off, and get down to work. When he has that middle finger dancing in the air, he tends to get awfully dialed. It's a bit close to the rail, Carl. Nervy start for both men.
Yeah, very nervy start. The good thing is he's got an angle, so after potting this ball, he's going to come back over to where his hand is, if you like. Just got to be careful of the scratch. There you could see it was tracking towards the middle pocket, but the pace was key, and he's in a good spot now. Carlo Biado, former world champ, has a very unusual cue action. I'm sure as this match unfolds we'll get some close-ups.
Beautifully navigated there, going between the 6 and the 8, off of 3 rails. Indeed an unorthodox kind of stroke. Everybody has a different style.
Tapping the chalk on the table, meaning slow down cue ball.
Touchy. Nicely navigated from Biado, really capitalized on that ball in hand.
Carlo
Let's
Biado.
come down to Michael Bridge, who's with one of America's finest. Skylar Woodward.
Yes, thanks very much. Got Skylar Woodward with me just minutes after we're announcing the Mosconi Cup. Skylar, how special is the Mosconi Cup to you?
It's man, it means everything really to me for you know, in the pool world, probably to every pool player, and just to get to play is amazing.
And it's such an intense rivalry those few days.
Yeah, for sure it is. It is. Yeah, definitely. Like, we're definitely against each other for them few days.
Yeah, so Carl will be a rival.
Oh yeah, yeah. Carl's the rival.
Yeah, yeah. Have you spoke to JJ much about the preparation, or is it still a bit early?
I think it's still a little bit early. I talked to him, you know, here and there. So yeah, I mean, maybe we'll start talking soon.
And very finally, it will be in London, Alexandra Palace, so you will be on enemy territory.
Yeah, yeah. But last time, well, not last year, but the first time we won a couple years ago was theirs, and it was like the biggest crowd we've had. So I can't wait to go back with the crowd.
Skylar, thank you very much. Look forward to that Mosconi Cup in December.
Thank you. It's the second rec. Carlo Biado is leading by 1-0 and will break.
Those are fighting words, Carl.
I'm not worried, pal. I've given him a
here
few
he
lessons.
is. There he is.
I give him a few lessons over the years. Beat him in singles, doubles.
Oh,
Did a number on him many times.
All right, well, should be a good Mosconi Cup later this year. So tune in. That wasn't really the spread Biado was looking for, and he looks a bit frustrated. Only one ball past the side pocket.
Yeah, these... Well, they did split okay, looking at that overhead, but they just all seem to come back down.
Yeah.
Table and cluster up. One thing Skylar did get right there is the fact that the Mosconi Cup is our kind of biggest pool tournament. It's a team event. Europe v USA. The crowd gets so involved. It truly is a spectacular event, and we can't wait.
Yeah, it's a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. Nayoki trying to navigate a safety of some sorts. As you said in the last rack, Carly would love to freeze him behind the ball in regards to the safety, and he's done very well with this. No clear-cut path right off of the bat, Carl.
No, I mean, if you're just tuning in, Carlo can play a deliberate foul that is allowed, so he can purposely try and tie some of the balls up, and that's what he's doing. He's trying to just push that purple 5 on top of the 2.
Foul stroke, illegal contact ball in hand.
And he did a good job there. So basically what's going to happen now is Nayoki gets ball in hand because Carlo committed a foul. He can put it where he wants, but the problem is, once potting the 1, can he get on the 2? Can he knock it out? So, clever shot.
Yeah, that was a bit crafty, the kick tie-up to just nudge the purple on the 2, as Carl just mentioned. And it looks from this vantage point like maybe he can squeeze it in the bottom left with the proper angle, although it's not so clear. Well, he couldn't, given that he's trying to break them up. And that was a wonderful attempt. Got a hair unlucky, perhaps, but should be able to navigate a safety from here.
Yeah, can he get the cue ball in behind that purple 5? That's what he tried, and I think he's got there.
Indeed he has. Looks like Carlo will have to apply some spin. Note the elevation, and he'll try to curve this.
Yeah, there was no way he could tie a ball up there, so he had to kick at that, and because he could come off one rail, there was a lot of value.
Oh, you can feel how focused Oy is. Well, it's okay.
Yeah, the 2 ball went in off the jaw, and the cue ball also at the middle point, so it looked a little bit scary. He's playing this cue ball off 2 rails. Pace needs to keep going, because if it doesn't, now he's got to probably try and draw off the 9 ball. His next ball is going to be the purple 5 on the side rail.
Yeah, let's try to turn those ringers off, and the crowd can hear a pin drop. As you said, Carl, he has to run into the 9 to maneuver over to the side rail for the purple. Funny things can happen here. He's got a lot of balls. He had the beep. Oh, he followed through the 9. Nice stroke. He's fallen a bit awkward, but that was a clever little shot. Nice angle here to see just how treacherous this one is. He's used his extension shore. Oh, he's got that back foot slightly elevated. Interesting. Oh, big time shot from a big time player here. Ran into the 8 though, Carl. Does anything meet the eye in terms of a safety?
Always tricky when both balls are on opposite sides of the table. The game of pool on 9x5. This is usually a very difficult situation. The latter stages of my career, in just the way I sort of.
Wow, am I seeing this right?
He is. It's not a bad option, to be fair, if he gets in behind this, but it's gone wrong. Is the 9 ball going to be his friend? Is the 9 ball going to be his friend?
Well, it looks like it is. He plays to the crowd a bit. I'm not certain he got him. Fascinating choice, though. Note, he could see the 7 straight away. He was attempting to go 1-2 rails behind the 7 to kick it up table, so just shows how deep the well is of shots in his arsenal.
Yeah, and Carlo's had a look at this pot, so he can clearly see the potting angle. So at first glance we thought Nayoki had got away with it, but he didn't get away with it. And this cue ball's going to be good. Needs to miss the 8, and he's on it.
A great shot there from Biado. Creativity from Nayoki was not rewarded. Looks like an early 2-0 lead for the Filipino killer.
Second rack, Carlo Biado.
Yeah, Nayoki needs to be a little bit careful. It's been a little bit of a scrappy start from him. And you don't want Biado to get too much of a lead on you, because when that boy relaxes, he is a machine.
Oh, indeed. We see the road to the semis. Beat Beau Rivage. Great name, of course. 9-3. Beat the fantastic Mika Immonen from Finland 11-1. Lost 11-5 to David Alcade from Spain. Beat Schneider, De Luna, Shaw. Got revenge on Alcade in a thriller 11-10. And then that match you were talking about last night, Carl, where the entire room moved over from Gorst Oy, which had just finished, to sweat the Hill rack between Biado and Chua. Got the back scratcher out. The one thing with Biado throughout the week, it's rather amazing that he's here. It looks like he struggled a bit with the break, at least on this feature table. Let's see if he can kind of solve those woes and get something going, or perhaps continue to fade it and just keep racking up wins.
Well, Nick, breaking news. USA team captain has just brought me a latte. What a guy.
Hey, and a black coffee for me too, Mr. Jones.
That must have hurt.
Many thanks.
Did you really buy me that? Yeah, JJ's back in the booth. Just a quick update for you, JJ. It's been a scrappy start, this match. Balls have been coming out a little funky.
Rack, Carlo Biado to break, leading by 2
real
racks.
edgy.
Well, to be expected. We kind of saw a little bit of that from our first 2 semifinalists, and then I think Dennis settled in as well. It's just kind of funny the way things went down, and then Yap did what he's done all week. Just played super solid pool.
Yeah, just as we go back to this break off, this is definitely been his best break so far. Wing ball goes in. Kind of played the cup break. 1 ball goes in the side as well.
And Carlo, who's played a lot of, different kinds of matches. You'd say scrappy matches at times, and then a big lead last night. A fellow countryman came back to Hill, but Carlo got it done and had to feel good. Now, a funny little shot here. Doesn't look like he rolls past the 7 so easily. Does he have to draw his cue ball here? I mean, take a little cut, just get past it. All right. I was wondering if he might shove into that ball.
Lovely.
Now, I did miss the first couple of games. I guess Oy had a couple of chances maybe.
Yeah, just the balls were coming out a little funky, and I mean, he didn't really miss anything easy, but he played a bad positional shot in rack 2, and then he got a little wild, didn't he, Nick?
He got a bit wild. Frankly, we sort of saw it all in these first couple of racks, Jeremy. You'd have actually really enjoyed him. We had a kick tie-up where Carlo had to tie up balls, and he elected to kick and tie them up. And we had Nayoki play an attempted 2-rail kick safety when he could see the ball straight away. Rather interesting position you'll catch later. So they've both shown the creativity and so on, but great start for Biado naturally as he's trying to extend the lead to 3-0.
Yeah, this is a little stretchy. Not the tallest of fellas. He puts the extension on his cue.
Yeah, probably looking to play his best pool today. I know that sounds kind of like textbook, who wouldn't? But I don't think we've seen that complete match from Carlo yet.
No, and I think, obviously, as we look at the 3 players that are left, if we're going to pick a favourite on paper, we would suggest it's Carlo now. He's won the World Pool Championships, so he knows how to win out there on the big stage.
Yeah, probably tournament style anyways, the most formidable
Carlo Biado
Filipino the last probably 8 or 9 years.
Well, the 9-ball is down 3-0 on the last break. Went gloriously for Carlo. A lot of pool left, though. Semi-final U.S. Open action. 3-0 lead for Biado.
Thank you.
Set
It's
to
the
break.
fourth rec. Carlo Biado is leading the match by 3 racks to 0 and will break.
This break's been a bit erratic throughout the week, but the last one looked awfully dangerous for Nayoki, who can only sit and watch at the moment. Went with a little bit of a cut break. Kind of cuts it again. Wing ball cooperates, as does the one.
Yeah, a little more speed into that one, and a break he started with last time I think we saw him on this table, where he suffered a loss, but he didn't really change. It wasn't working that well, and was kind of stubborn to change, and I think, you know, you can't say it totally cost him the match, but definitely cost him some shots after the break.
Nervous little tap of the chalk, signifying a slowdown of sorts. Looks like he's okay, though. Touched on it all week. That is an awfully side pocket. Beautiful angle there to illustrate just how tight equipment is here. Navigated nicely, Jeremy.
Yeah, he looks pretty comfortable. A little quick, a little much with the cue ball there, so he may have to play underneath the 6. He may come around. I don't think he holds this. Maybe he does.
Yeah, that angle looks a little steep to hold. But that's what he's played, and he's played that nice.
Yeah, I commented on that shot with Yap that's the type one shot on the TV table you really have to have. From that little steep angle, being able to pull it out to the middle softly. I'll tell you, Carlo kind of, here's this underneath angle he played for that got him in a match a couple days ago when he suffered his first loss trying to get through to that qualification. Well, he stayed plenty clear of that side pocket, and he's going to maybe overrun the mark a hair. Should be fine.
Table looked really quick there.
Well, I'll tell you, I've said it all week. Maybe the best tournament tables I've ever seen as a whole.
Well, JJ, you've been around the block, so we can't argue with you there.
9-ball down. It's like Biado's really settling in. Touched on it all week. Former world champion, perhaps the most consistent Filipino among the most consistent players in the world for the last 10 some odd years. Almost a bit underrated at this point. Serious pool fans understand the situation, but one of the very best to ever do it.
Yeah, and I think it's his, you know, personality that makes him sometimes go under the radar. Very mild-mannered, kind of quiet, compared to some of the other Filipinos who are very animated. We even saw a little from Dennis there in the semifinal.
Yeah, that we did. It was a hard-fought battle for Dennis. Bravo, semi-finalist in the U.S. Open, is nothing to hang your head about. Great Alyushis Yap showed us some form that we haven't seen in quite some time, especially from such a young player.
Young and still just hitting the scene, and it doesn't seem like, you know, when you're hitting the scene like this, you have those great matches, you have consecutive wins, but you kind of figure a hiccup here and there to fall in as well, right, Carl?
Yeah, 100%, JJ. I can't agree more. We talked about SVB trying to win his 6th US Open title, creating some history. Carlo Biado is trying to create some history, joining a group of players who've won US Open and World Pool Championship.
Yeah, those names are in the highest regard, and really almost pretty much your ticket into the Hall of Fame, right, Carl?
Yeah, I was just going to say, JJ, you've won US Open, of course. What was your best finish at the World Championships?
Runner-up, actually.
Runner-up?
Yeah.
Who to?
My roommate of the week, Nick Varner, in 1999 in Alicante, Spain.
Quality.
Double J and the Colonel on the road in Spain. Must have been some good times.
It sure was.
Are we jumping here, Jeremy?
It looks like it. And again, position is dicey though, right? I mean, usually when you're taking on this jump, you're figuring position is almost automatic. He's got to fall between the 7 and 9 maybe. Maybe he comes out between the 7-4. Of course, first things first, got to bury this one.
Wasn't a million miles away, and now Nayoki Oi, who trails 4-0. This is his first kind of easy chance. Fair enough, he played a poor positional shot in rack 2, but this is a must-win rack now. He's got to make something happen.
Well, you can't fault the decision by Carlo, but I talked about it in the first match, Carl, that you can't let the moment, you know, kind of get ahead of what you're doing. And what I meant by that with Aloysius, we saw him go for some pretty tough shots after the break, ignoring the rollout.
Yeah, the push out. Big fan of the push out, me. I like it when you play players who you've played over, you know, the seasons, and you kind of know the weaknesses and strengths. That can dictate your push out.
Yeah, it's really the one and only secure time in the game that you really can play your opponent most of the time in 9-ball. Pretty cut and dry. Now, Oi had a great interview earlier. Seems loose. He's just got to get maybe a rack under his belt and get to break the balls. That's what gets these great 9-ball players going, is the break shot.
Yeah, what does he play here? Does he try and come high on it? Is he going to draw into the 7? Is he?
He's got to go into the 7 with the 9 there. I don't think he can afford to go forward.
Yeah, I agree. He's got to draw back, little stun shot. Getting a little close to the pink 4 there, but I think he can still pop this ball. But there you see the purple 5. He's got to. Can he go forward on this, do you think, JJ?
No, I think he's got to draw it. And when you're close to it, perspective can get you a little bit here. So don't expect to miss, but uh-oh. Gonna need some kind of kiss. He has no pocket for the purple. So now maybe a ticklish flick on the purple, bringing the cue ball 1 rail behind the 9.
Yeah, and this is worrying signs from Nayoki Oi, because he's trailing beast of a player 4-0 in the semi-finals, the biggest match of his career. He's actually been to the semi-finals of the World Pool Championships. This cue ball needs to get up there because he stuck the 5 up. I think he just got there. I think that's not too bad.
No.
Well, the jump is available, but lovely touch there from Oi, getting it behind just that lone 9-ball.
Yeah, and that's all you can do. If Carlo comes with this great jump, he comes with it, but now we had 4 Filipino players make the final 8. How amazing that is. But Carlo now the lone Filipino trying to make the final.
Yeah, Lucius Yap, no one can argue with his performance to get himself to his first US Open Championship final. Where's the 5 gonna end up?
Oh, we got action on the side as well.
Yeah, or
has it fallen in no man's land, gentlemen?
Very much so, and the safety is so difficult as well. Now, if he can pocket the 5 and just go into the point avoiding the scratch, he'll do so and take on the brown 7. But
we see how close that came to the 9-ball. There's no way he tries to get him on the point via a safety shot, right?
No, I think he can play this.
He might have it. Nayoki.
Yeah. That's a nice shot to settle yourself.
Yeah, he hit that very pure, didn't he?
And like most, he gets stronger as he can put a few racks together. I think he's got to turn it loose a little bit here. I wouldn't want to float this. Yeah, I think that's, I know he's kind of gambling a little bit there, getting around there, but I think that's the best way to play it.
Yeah, that was a tidy shot, and just these 2 balls remain, and Nayoki Oi has got his semi-final match campaign underway.
That he does, Carl. Beautifully navigated 7-ball, like you said, Jeremy. Came around. Oi is on the board. Crowd lets him hear it.
Yeah, it's no secret to see who the crowd want to win this match.
Well, I've been around these tournaments, and Carlo always gets a lot of respect from the crowd. Like I said, he's such a good guy and, you know, awesome to watch. But you can definitely tell where the energy kind of sits in this match, right?
Well, a fan favorite of sorts, certainly. We see the route to the semis. Beat Al Muhanna 9-3, Garcia 11-8, lost 11-4 to the great Grabe. Beat Lin 11-6, they're on 11-3, Beisterbosch 11-4, Sanchez Ruiz 11-7, and beat Fedor Gorst last night in an absolute thriller.
Yeah, when you look at that list, that just shows you how hard it is to get yourself in this position, JJ, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's amazing. Normally, you know, you might catch one early that you that you don't mind, but after that, in the U.S. Open, even with 256 in the field, you're going to have to win 6 or 7 stellar matches.
Yeah, it's a brutal tournament, and if you do find yourself in this position, you've kind of got to hope it's your day and you get your chances and hopefully pick up the trophy and the green jacket. Does your green jacket still fit you, JJ?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's all right. It works. Don't put it on very often, but
might be a little big at this point.
Masters week. I put it on Masters week.
There you go.
You know.
Well, if I was lucky enough to win one, I'd just be wearing it the full event.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't care. I'd just walk around with it, sleep in it, do everything.
Wing ball cooperates.
Former great innovator and promoter and creator of this event, Barry Berman. Always a big fan of the Masters. He actually took me to the Masters one year.
Oh, really? That must have been great. I'd love to go there.
It was a ball, and I'll tell you what, if you ever get a chance to get on that property, the TV, I mean, it does it a little justice, but not real justice.
Yeah, because it's like hilly, right?
Oh, it's hilly, and they have enough property, I think. It's almost like the Vatican, if you've ever been there. It's like every little piece is manicured to some extent. Yeah. Vatican, it's all marble gold. There's no dull moment as you walk through the Vatican.
Looks like he's taking this one on cross side.
Wow. And
rather be lucky than good, as they say. Nayoki oi.
That's right.
An apology to Biado.
An ounce of luck is worth a pound of skill, and a little bit of, I thought he made a poor decision trying to move the cue ball there. I thought he could just draw it back a little, pinch it. Looked like the bank laid just dead natural to me, Carl.
Yeah, and what's interesting is he's getting really animated. He's getting the crowd on his side. That's going to put a little heat on Biado when he's at the table.
It's a great point, Carl. He's creating that sort of climate that's difficult to deal with.
Yeah, it's a smart move. I used to do that in the Moscone. I used to get you Americans riled up, really get into yours and start doing the bow and arrow when I was about to pop the 9 ball.
Not hard to rile us up either, but
it's all fun and games, of course.
But really, end of the day, you've had some iconic performances out there, and it's a really good point. Boy gets the crowd going, creates a kind of hostile environment, and he's fallen on this 3 fairly nicely.
No, that was a great shot. He's on the rail, but he's got an angle to move the cue ball. And I know you say fun and games, Carl, but I'm sure pretty tactful with those moves at the Moscone Cup, and probably even told your teammates it was coming.
Oh, yeah, it was all planned. And like last year with the Tiger, you liked that one, didn't you? Joey Gray. I kept calling him Joey Exotic, and brought a big tiger with me and everything.
Yeah, a little General Patton-ish, I guess.
Oh, man.
Planning out his days of war.
Here.
Yeah, this got funny to me. A little stretched, which concerns me. Forward is really not an option. And the 8 on the other end of the table, that's the concern. He's got to fall pretty decent on the 6.
Yeah, and you can just look at Biado from where we are, and he's sort of slumped in his chair. I mean, things are okay.
That 7 in the side took the wind out of his sails a bit. The 7 in the side, then the crowd rallying, as you said, lest we forget, Roy did miss the bank, and here he is running out. He's fallen a hair short, but he has the proper angle. These are always tricky.
Yeah, this is routine in your training and at your pool room, but the U.S. Open semifinal, it's all about nerves. Ooh, caught a little knuckle coming in there.
Yeah, I think years of playing pool you know, in the clubs and a lot of the tournaments where the pockets have been overly generous, he would have probably just got down and smashed that ball in, but 4 1/4 inch pocket makes you think a little bit more.
And I'll tell you, us pool players, we're always just looking for the tournaments to improve from year to year, and I'll tell you, Matchroom's done a great job with that.
Certainly the nicest venue I've ever seen. I mean, it is just pristine
Nayoki
here, from the rafters to the lights to these tables you were talking about before, Jeremy. The U.S. Open, such a rich history. It's 2021. Who's going to win it this year?
Thank you. It's the 7th rack. Nayoki is trailing by 4x to 2 and will break.
Things are tightening up here on the boardwalk. Semi-final U.S. Open action. It's 4-0 Biado, what felt like a few minutes ago. Now it's 4-2. Nayoki set to break.
Yeah, it was all going Biado's way. Nayoki was having a bit of a mare. Got a little fortunate in the last rack, and there's a different vibe in the arena now. He's created a little something. The crowd are clearly on Oi's side. And he has a shot
break here.
Sorry, Nick.
Just was alluding to how good that break was there, Carl. He's a bit funny, but that's a troubling sign for Biado.
And I think the firm break is the way to go. I know Carlo's playing a little more controlled, a hair of a cut, trying to put the one over the side, over the corner, but it seems to me when crunch time gets near, that soft break ends up with a dry guy. Maybe you get snookered. It seems like to me the firm break, you're making a couple of balls. You really get that energy going, and it really plays well for Oi.
Yeah, and real nice shot on the 2-ball there. Made it look real easy.
A little funny here. Can't easily come across for the 6 with the 9 being there. He's a little cueing a little funny. He may have to screw this cue ball past the 6, huh?
Yeah, maybe. I know what you're saying. In a pool room, you could play this with a bit of right English and Mr. 9. On this TV table, it's a little slicker. It's not quite going to bite. It's very close to the 6 ball.
Yeah, I think that's a good, smart choice there. You get to let your stroke out. You're not making something kind of in between, tentative. And he's starting to get going a little bit.
Yeah, he's got himself back in this match.
Well, with every ball pocketed, I think everyone, including myself, can feel Oy getting stronger.
Yeah, and he's almost running around the table. Let's see if we get some kind of animation after this 9 goes in.
Nayoki wins the rack.
Beautifully navigated there, starting with that lovely first shot. He came 3 rails around effortlessly. Looks like he's catching a rhythm here.
Just look at that arena there. Beautiful, beautiful setup here for this year's arena.
Been told that he ran that rack in 1 minute and 54 seconds, so he's getting to work quickly, boys.
Yep, he is indeed. It was a good break. He did have a shot on the 2, but it wasn't an easy shot. He played a real nice pot, cue ball off 3 rails.
And I hate to play psychologist too much, but just body language-wise, Oy looks like he's kind of settling in, enjoying himself, and Biado, you know, looks a little tense out there.
Well, pretty similar. You're not going to see a big change from Biado. I mean, it's just not his personality. Bit of an introvert.
And it's a game of the mind because Biado was 4-0 up, now it's 4-3, so he feels a little lost out there, but if it was 3-3 and he won that rack, he'd feel good. It's a crazy mindset, right?
It's true, Carl.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you shoot a shot and you leave yourself a funny shot. You know, you're not so happy, but if your opponent came off a miss and they leave you that shot, you're like ecstatic, right?
Yeah,
So,
I know what you're saying. That's another good one.
Trailing 4-3.
Well, his last break went remarkably well. Like you said, Jeremy, he hit some pretty hard.
you know, besides losing the cue ball, which we did see that last night from him in a big moment, I like the firm break. I just really think it's the one that's going to get somebody across the finish line.
Watch the cue ball, though. He does this a lot. He
Crosses
spins,
it over.
Yeah,
huh?
he spins the cue ball.
Right.
Tries to get that one ball over to where it is now. The cue ball spins so much on his break-off shot.
Yeah, and I think it's intended because we saw it continually yesterday, and this is just perfect to come 2 rails at the 3, and we should be tied up here after this rack, just from the layout. Not much to think about here.
Just thinking back to Biado's reaction when Oy lucked the 7 in the side. He was, you know, a bit dejected. Of course he's right here, stone killer, looking to get the job done. But he was dejected because he knew something like this can happen. You can stay in the chair for an awfully long time versus these boys. Oy off to the races right now.
And good point, Nick, because it's not a maybe. We've seen it all week. Pretty typical Japanese cueing. The players, they play with a little bit of a choked up back arm, nothing major, but not always the longest of strokes, but very accurate.
Interesting in regards to the sort of different fundamentals hailing from different regions, different styles.
Yeah, well, you had probably one of the most legendary Japanese players make the finals of the U.S. Open against Earl Strickland. I think it was in
Extension
2000, Okamura.
I recall he played with a beautiful cue.
And somebody that always definitely been around and heard
Nayoki
stories.
And he's following in the footsteps right now. A few taps, gets the crowd going. 4-4. This one's really heating up. No surprise.
Yeah, no surprise indeed. The crowd want to see a close match. Pool fans love the end of a pool match when it approaches hill, and the players, well, they have to handle their nerve and try and close a match out.
Now, you weren't in Vegas, Carl, but interesting to me, though, 2 out of the 4 semifinalists from Vegas made it to the Final Four here. So I think that really says something to having this consecutive streak of tournaments we've had here the last 4 or 5 weeks here in the U.S., and that's going to continue on the next few weeks.
Yeah, the pool players can sort of get on that roll, can't they? If they've gone deep in an event, they've cashed, feeling good about themselves.
Yeah, and I think it brings like Oi and of course, both of these guys are saying to the poor world, I'm really not an underdog. I was going to bring up Yap, but it lets them get that confidence and that get in stroke and play those matches against those, what would higher ranked players, you might say, but really get kind of that no fear mentality, and that's what we're seeing from Oi right here. And I'd say to him the same thing, don't back off on the break shot. And he did back off a little bit more of an arm break than the body.
Yeah, he does have a shot on the 1. But where the 2 is laying, there's issues.
Yeah, I'm not so sure he can hit a high ball and avoid the scratch in the opposite corner and come around for the 2 on the side. Otherwise, any other path getting on the 2 is kind of gambling. I mean, do you just draw and hit the 6 and try and maybe bleed the cue ball towards the 2 and get something going? I mean,
well, he's jacking down on this, so he's up to something. Oh, he's back up.
Would you consider the
Extension
safety
call
here?
I think he can top this ball through, because...
He can? Oh, yeah, looking at the angle now. It's a tough shot, though.
Yeah, I'm right behind it, but he's jacking down, but he can definitely go forward.
So he's trying to come between the 6 and the 5 with the cue ball, I believe. That's the only thing I saw he could do, is try and carry him off the top of the 6 and bring the cue ball towards the 2. He had everything besides pocketing the ball.
Carlo Biado takes a look up to the ceiling with a wry smile on his face, because he knows he's in a spot of bother here.
Yeah, the 2-rail kick or the 1-rail kick isn't too bad, though. Quickly, he's going for the jump cue, and man, I'm not in love with the jump here. Of course, I'm not the jumper these guys are today, but...
Well, he doesn't only have to contend with the black, but the purple, to a certain degree, looks like it impedes the natural route. He's lining it up, though.
Maybe banking this around instead of going for the make. I don't think that's a bad shot.
Foul shot.
I didn't like anything about that jump from the beginning, it seemed like.
Yeah, you just didn't like that from the start, did you, JJ? And it's proved very costly for Biado. Cue ball flies off the table, ball in hand for Oi.
Start the clock, please.
And as great as these guys are kicking at the ball, and there were a couple different kicks available, anytime you're kicking at the 1 ball, there's several on the table, right? You got to have a good chance of coming away clean. And that's 2 jump shots that have gotten away from Carl, right? That's 2 that one he had a miss, and that one a foul.
Great speed there.
Getting a little carried away here, but would be such a popular winner of this year's event, Nayoki. You can imagine the winner's interview, couldn't you? That would be pretty sporty to watch.
Yeah, there'll be some cameras out for that one, Carl.
Well, he's a proper showman, Every sport has personalities like this, so to speak. It's not that the athletes owe us anything other than trying to make a living, but sometimes a character like this comes along who's not only a showman and a performer, but also just transcendently great at the game. It's a nice combination. Came up a little steep here. 1-2 around. Lovely sound. That ball crashing in the side pocket. And it looks like 5-4, a tester, albeit.
Yeah, I like him taking a hair extra time here. You've seen him do that on the winning 9-ball several times this week.
Yeah, you just compose yourself, tell yourself to stay still, deliver the cue through straight.
Nayoki wins the rec.
Good call, JJ. Gave it the respect it deserved. Stay with us. It's heating up down here in AC. Well, it's 5-4 as it stands now.
Thank you. It's rec number 10. Nayoki is leading the match by 5 recs to 4 and will break.
Yeah, big swings here.
Thank you. Settle down, please. Thank you.
I believe that's 5 in a row for Oy, right? 4-0 he trailed.
Indeed. And when he trailed 4-0, we could all feel that this match was far from over.
Yeah, I think it was you or Phil or both that said that about a match between SVB and Ruiz the other day when SVB opened with 5 or 6. I'll tell you what, he's getting shots right now. Balls are opening up. He's just got to maintain to extend this lead. He's got a really tough shot on the 2 to get position on the 3, though.
I believe the 3 is impeded by the 7. He had a conciliatory kind of look at it, acknowledging that it can't just all go perfectly. But maybe it can squeak by. Can you tell from this vantage point?
I kind of felt looking at the screen it went, but very difficult. Really flat here. Now, does he go 3 rails here off of this with top right playing it to the lower right-hand corner pocket on your screen?
Yeah, I do believe that's what he's playing.
Trying to get very close to a 3-ball. Oh, he's trying to break out the 3-ball is what he was trying to do, and a little bit of body movement there.
Biado, he's not going to be best pleased again. He's missed the ball. He's got a kick. Now the 2-ball is pretty much over the pocket. Needs to take a little care on this shot, but not going to be feeling good if you Biado at the minute. It's all going his way.
Yeah, but he's got to kind of leave that behind. I mean, I understand that you don't feel like, you know, those little like, oh my God, here we go again, emotions affect you, but I think they do.
Yeah.
This isn't that tough.
Yeah, and you know yourself, you just got to stay in. Can soon change round in a game of pool. It's a pretty sporty shot.
And make no mistake, some fans are rooting for the Filipino legend as well. It's not an all Oi crowd. Veritable eruption after he twisted that one in.
JJ, does this bank? Does it squeeze past the 7?
I think he can bank it. I'm not so sure. I think he'll play the cut, though, if it does go. The problem is, what's he going to do with position? He's going for the bank. Easy to double kiss this.
Extension called.
He's got to draw the cue ball. He's got to get the cue ball out, and that draw English makes me think the bank's going to go long, maybe even into the 7. Oh, he got it short. Wow. Hit it dead in the face.
Needs a little look. Could have been worse.
Yeah, he received a little. The initiative certainly rests with Oi, but does he have an offensive look at this, JJ?
Cross side is all. He's going to pull the cue ball behind the 7 slowly, but nothing guaranteed here, I don't think. Oh, he's coming back the other way. He's got to hope this slows down a little bit. Oh, that's real nice.
Yeah, great control there. Thought he overcooked it initially, but he had such a good angle.
I wonder if the 5 throws in the side if he comes into the back of the 3 off of 2 cushions. I think it's got a chance if he hits it mildly. He's got to hit it mild. If he hits it hard, got no chance. It's got no chance to throw if he hits it hard. I think it did have a chance to go if he had the nerve to play it lightly.
Yeah, and he chanced his arm a little bit, and he's left Nayoki a pot at this. It is long, but the last kind of 20 minutes of this match, Oi's been feeling good, getting some rhythm going. So he's going to like his chances here. Does he play this around the table to get back in the middle of the table, or do you kind of play it, not rolly pace, but...
Oh, he's got to worry about a few things, I think. I think he's got to worry about just barely getting behind the 7 if he plays it at a light speed, falling behind the rail. That tells me, that's what the angle tells me. If he puts a little too much on it, could bring the 5 into play. I think he's got to go with the lighter speed, though. Around the table, I think, offers a miss. And it's got to go a little bit. I think he's all right. Great shot.
Very nice shot. Yeah, very nice shot indeed.
Love the way he sort of nodded yes to himself when he gets in a tricky position, kind of accepting this is the task at hand, and off we go.
Well, his game has come so far. You know, of course, he's had some big moments already, but what Oi does the best, in my opinion, is just knock that ball in, right? I mean, that's kind of his strength.
Yeah, that's where it starts. It's no use missing every ball you go for. Needs an angle on this 7. Doesn't want to land a little funny. This is a little funny.
Yeah, it's going to be short side on the 8, but key to this one is a lot of times you're worried about falling this ball in or getting straight, and you underhit this. So make sure you get into the cue ball. That was a nice choice there. Ooh, a little straightish.
Yeah, this is not great. He might have to take his medicine.
I think he can follow to the other long rail here and take the 9 in the opposite side and get the cue ball off the rail. Do believe, anyways. If he tries to stun, it's not going to get it off much. Yeah.
Now, this is not easy, guys. This can be missed. He's got to stay still. He's cueing off the rail. We've seen a lot of these balls hit the point of the middle and stay over. This is a big shot. It's a big moment.
Yeah, don't baby it.
Oh, good call, Carl. Oh, my.
Is this going to freeze? Oh, look at this.
Yeah, I mean, Biado, at the end of the day, he can feel a little bit disgusted in this, but you'd certainly rather be back at the table, wouldn't you? Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's, like I said, he can't let these little things, it's just mid-match. You know, you're seeing a lot more frustration from Carlo, and he's been through this plenty of times than you would normally see. Okay, he's got a cue ball froze on the rail. That's, oh, wow, he played it very mild. I don't know about that. He may kick this in.
Oh, he's racing to the table.
Yeah, he may kick this in.
He looks like he's going for it. He has not eyed another shot since jumping out of his seat. It's a little bit far off the rail, though.
Yeah, but if you, again, don't baby it, you have a good chance here. Top English, couple ways to make it. Yeah.
Oh, Nayoki.
Oh, wow. This is drama unfolding. Biado, he must feel, well, he must feel a little out of sorts over there.
Yeah, unfortunate for Carlo, but did you think it was maybe a suspect play there on the 9 by Carlo?
Yeah, I'd have gone the old free railer in the side pocket.
Well,
just go out screaming and dancing.
Well, I mean, hey, that's not the worst thing, swinging the cue ball back around the table, but I mean, you're usually going to go for distance there as the safety, even if you let the 9 get a little exposed, right?
Distance seemed prudent, and also just what you said, Jeremy, really rings true when he saw that the 9 ball had nestled up, frozen on the rail where he had to play safety, kind of put his hands towards the sky again. The frustration is mounting, and then he asked the referee if he had used his extension or not, so he forgot. The referee alerted him to the fact that he had used it, and then he only had 10-15 seconds to navigate. You got to get right to business. Easier said than done sometimes when you're out there, surely. 6'4", Oi.
Yeah, and he's got a, you know, it's a long-term thing, but you know, those little frustrations now, if he ends up with a long, tough shot, I mean, he's coming off some negative vibes. I know that it seems like it's not supposed to matter at this level, but it really does. I'd like to know what Oi is constantly always getting a little nibble of in between games. He's done that every match that I've seen.
Looks like nuts to me.
Yeah, some kind of protein, right?
Is leading by 6 racks to 4.
He is a little bit nuts, so that would make sense.
Well, so are you, pal. It's almonds Oi's been nibbling on.
There you go. Okay, no corner ball, but the 1's down. The 2's very open. Oh, my. This is going to cost a few games, it looks like.
Yeah, and Biado, he's going to watch on in horror. Complete horror.
He has to remember this match isn't over, like you've been saying, Jeremy, but horror indeed. Oi with this sort of look is unpleasant, to say the least. And
yeah, Biado opened up with the first 4 racks. Oi could come with the next 7, so it is possible. You know, at the end of the day, he can't do much, but he has got to the table. Decided to play a dangerous safety on the 9, so he's got to try and regroup.
And he's got to get that opportunity to regroup. That's a little light there. He would have loved to have been 2, maybe a 1.5 feet closer to this 6 ball. The type of ball that can get jawed when nerves are high. Now, it looks like to me, this distance, he's got to stun across. Can't afford to draw up the rail from this distance. Oh, yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah, and this is why you've got to stay patient, because you just never know when you're going to come back to the table. And Biado is back at the table, so this is a big moment now.
indeed it is. Perhaps none bigger for Carlo in this 2021 U.S. Open. He absolutely has to clear these.
Yeah, JJ called it there. The lack of pace on his previous shot to get on the green 6 is where his downfall started. Biado.
Yeah, just a little let up on that 5 ball from Oi and cost him at least probably 2 feet on the cue ball, and I think what looks to be game number 11. Ooh, side
boy.
pocket, side
out.
pocket.
Oh, Carlo Biado.
Yeah, he overcut the 6 a little bit, and you know, I don't want to lean on
Start the clock, please.
those previous little frustrations he showed in what was maybe a couple different games, right? I mean, and then has to come with a shot, and maybe the concentration not there, Nick. You know, maybe just pool. You know, that's just how it goes sometimes.
Yeah, it's. I think it's a combination of everything, and one can only wonder what the mental kind of fortitude it takes to deal with Oi surging right now. He rallies the crowd. It can do funny things to a man out there, and right now it's about to be 7-4. Oi set to break. What a swing that was.
Nayoki Oi wins the rack.
He just has a great disposition out there, Oi. Even there, he was a bit apologetic almost. He's not giving it back, but he knows he's had the rolls. He's gotten some breaks. Little nibble on the almonds there.
Well, when it's all said and done, you know, regardless of what's going on, a few little rolls here and there for Oi. It was 6-4. Biado had a chance, and that's what he's going to be sat thinking about.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's, you know, after Oi kind of blowing the 6, if Carlo knocks that in, you know, as carefree as Oi is, Oi's going to feel that mistake most likely and could really turn the match around.
Yeah, he missed the 9. Carlo didn't capitalize with a fairly lazy safety. Then he missed that 6, and Carlo didn't capitalize, as you said. I mean, 6-5 versus 7-4 is a monumental difference. Some pool left, though.
Yeah, over halfway through the match, 11 games played, and even more important than the scoreline is getting to break the balls, getting to put something together. You know, and the one thing about, you know, Oi missed that 9 in the side, but
Rack number 12. Nayoki Oi
as soon as he had the chance to stay
four.
aggressive, he did. He didn't think anything else besides kicking that 9 ball in. It's a great mentality in my mind.
And he never looked at another shot. Raced out of his seat and eyed the kick immediately. Set to break.
Yeah, in the context of the match, this is a real big rack now. 8-4 or 7-5. Such a big difference. See what Oi's going to be faced with. Cue ball got kicked.
Yeah, but the 8 hung, so as long as he's got to look at the 1, he's going to like it.
Yeah, he's going to play a billiard. Oh, can he cut the 1 on? Can he get past the 2?
Yeah, if he can cut it, he's definitely going to cut it versus the billiard. And he's got some rail he can use on that cut shot also, seeing as how the 8 is hanging.
Yeah, so that's good news. He can see enough of this 1 ball. So he's going to be cutting up the rail. Pocket the 8. And as long as he lands on this
Extension,
1,
please.
look at where the balls are.
Yeah, the only concern I would have is sometimes on these you want to hit him with a little more speed. Watch out for the brown 7 if he's coming across with the cue ball. Yeah, he hit it dead in the face. If you ricochet off one side or the other, that 7, the side pocket and the corner is really in play.
Yeah, so he took a little gamble. It's actually turned out okay.
Yeah, you got to love it. Really come clean with the cue ball here. You have a 4 hanging. 3's easy. Okay, is he finding? Oh, 2 goes straight in the corners. Going to settle himself. This is the shot of the rack.
He was 4 racks down, let's not forget.
Carlos still in the chair. Does not look very good at all. He's got to stay positive. Most likely he gets a chance to get back in this match.
Would have liked the cue ball to come back a little bit more, wouldn't he? Still going to be okay, but maybe just picking something out for the Filipino fans.
Well, one thing I see about Oy is, you know, it's not on a string at all times, you know. I mean, he plays pretty good position, but really doesn't let that little out of line bother him a lot. He knows you have to keep knocking him in playing professional pool.
That's a great point.
Just pay attention to the 9 ball. His cue's going to be going over it, so that always feels a little awkward.
Still a bit elevated. You can see that hand in the air, and he has fallen on the 50-yard line, gentlemen.
Yeah, we've seen this 9 ball shot 3 or 4 times today in these 2 semifinals. You wouldn't want to bet against him, though.
Deliberate on the 9, as he often is. Some players tend to rush these, try to get him over with. Not Nayoki Oy. Takes his time. Center cup. 8-4 lead, and Oy is surging right now. And as you alluded to, Jeremy, when he gets a little out of line, he does stuff like this. Beautifully struck ball there. Stayed down over his cue until it dropped.
Yeah, well, you have those games or sets where you're in line pretty much every shot, but those are actually kind of rare. The game's more about recovery in my mind, kind of like golf, Nick. You know, you got to recover more than it being about perfect.
Yeah, and just at the pro ranks, both of these games, a game of misses, as they say, and so on. Take a look at the prize pool. 50 G's for first. But it's a little more than that, isn't it, Jeremy? Champion for life, sponsorships, and a legend. Heroes come and go, but you know what they say about legends. Everybody wants this one.
Well, and for Oy and for Carlo, you know, in many countries around the world, they're looking for, you know, top sportsmen to win in any sport pretty much, and if they can come to America and capture a U.S. Open title, well, no telling where that goes for not only the country and the world of pool and billiards in their country, but for someone like Nayoki Oy. Could really put him maybe on every commercial break back in Japan.
Yeah, it's hard to really know what capturing this trophy would mean to Oy in Japan, but very proud of their sportsman over there. For Biado, he's trying to follow in the footsteps of so many great Filipinos over the years. Can he mount a comeback here in Atlantic City in this beautiful ballroom presented by Matchroom Pool Series? I mean, I've been to a lot of tournaments over the years. I don't really think I've ever seen one quite as nice as this. Just incredible.
They definitely know what they're doing. And Carlo, who's really I would say that the greatest 2 Filipinos to ever play, at least you would think so. Efren Reyes and Alex Pagulayan, the only 2 Filipinos to have won this title. Carlo trying to be that third, and he's lost 8 games in a row. What's going through your mind, Carl?
Well, it's such a big match, isn't it? And it's been a tale of 2 tapes, because he won the first 4, so it was all going his way. He was feeling good. A few funky little rolls, you know, his favour, turn the match on its head. But he's going to be sat there thinking at 6-4 when he scratched on that 6 ball. He's got to try and regroup. It's not easy to do, but you've got to stay in the moment. This match is not over. Let's just hope for his sake he gets another chance in this match.
Yeah, well, at 4-0, he went for a jump shot after the break on the 1 where he could have rolled out. I think that kind of sticks in my mind that, you know, this is only a race to 11. You can't afford games.
Yeah, there's been a few instances. It's not just been all Nayoki Oy. He's had opportunities.
Perhaps the break Carlo needed here, guys. The two just nestling up against the white. Well, he'll have to play a safety of some kind. Does it look like Biado will be returning to the table shortly?
Tricky shot here. Can't really reach it so easily from one side, the better side, that side there, and I'm not sure. Any chance you would bank this 2 straight back down and kind of just pull the cue ball over here above the 3 and try and use the 4, 8, and 9 maybe?
Yeah, I like that shot. That's the kind of thing that my instinct told me straight away. But
Push out called.
he's not had a look at that shot, has he? So he's going push out.
Well, I don't mind that. This is kind of goes with what I said about the jump shot at 4-0 that Carlo took. If you don't like it, you can't ignore the push. You know, you can't just say, well, I have to jump at this or I have to kick at this. You know, Carlo's feeling it right now, so always going to make him have to come with it.
Now, is he playing the pot? Or
He's
is he
going.
playing thin safe?
He's going.
He's going.
Yeah. That's one thing that Carlo is kind of known for, especially with the Filipinos, is coming with the tough shot when it means the most. Well, I thought he would fire that in. A lot of times he lets it rip there and goes around the table with the cue ball, and shoulders kind of dragging a little bit for Carlo.
Yeah, he missed it by a long way in the end, didn't he? So, is Nayoki, can he cut this in? Is he playing the bank?
I think he's going to bank it. Oh, he's going to cut it and go into the 3. So maybe the 3 ends up on the other side rail. Like, oh, he overcut it. Yeah, so Carlo's going to get another opportunity of some sort.
Yeah, can Biado pot this 2 ball and make something happen? Can he swing this match back in his favour?
Well, he likes taking on the tough shot, and it looks like he's sizing it up. So, and I bet this one isn't rolled like the last one, Carl. Normally when he takes on the tough shot, he's shooting it in with some authority.
Oh, my. What a shot from Carlo Biado to get back in this match.
That was sensational. It really was. Still needs another good shot. Not sure if the 4 passes the 8 ball.
It's awfully tight, and that's more of what I'm used to seeing from Carlo as far as when he takes on the tough shot, it's usually with a full swing, and the 2 ball he had prior, I thought that's what he would do as well. This is going to land funnily, in a funny way on the rail. Eesh. Drawn into the 8 doesn't have to be that great. Oh, he's just going to dead roll this. Can he hold the ball? I guess so.
Yeah, this has been a good effort from Carlo. It was the 2 ball. That was his shot of the match. Can he get something going?
Okay. Nicely navigated. Simple little 9 ball here to cut it to 8-5.
Yeah, let's see what the crowd's reaction is.
Carlo Biado wins the rack.
Oh, they're letting him hear it, and Carlo's pumping him up. Things are heating up here on the boardwalk. Semi-final action. Stay close. It's a tense
Thank you,
one.
the 14th rack. Carlo Biado to break, trailing by 8 racks to 5.
Biado set to break here in the 14th rack. Came with a beautiful out there to stop the bleeding somewhat. See what he can produce off of this break off. Maybe get something going. The great Carlo Biado, former world champion. Does make the corner ball. The one ball appears to be cooperating.
Yes, it does indeed. He's going to be queuing over that purple 5. But the natural path of this cue ball lends itself to getting on the red 3. That's going to be the next ball after the yellow one, because he's pocketed the 2 off the break. And if he can just try and find a little run out here, there's a little swing back over to the Biado side.
Yeah, really all about this first shot and then maintaining. All right, got it in. Used the top part of the pocket, and I think that was a little bit for the cue ball path. Thought he might fall a little straight here, but that's okay with the 4 near.
All this was brought on by that phenomenal shot on the 2 ball in the previous rack.
Yeah, should just roll forward, and a phenomenal shot it was, and had to turn the cue ball loose a little bit, but it was time for him to gamble a little, don't you think, Carl? I mean, got to turn things around.
Yeah, that's right, JJ. Fully agree. He would have liked the cue ball to run a little further.
Yeah, he's missed his mark here. As long as he overcuts the 4 and a little bit onto the 8, he shouldn't have a problem. Kind of floated it instead. This 4 the 5 ended up on the point a little bit, but shouldn't be a problem coming 2 rails for the 6 in the same pocket.
Yeah, that's perfect. Good speed control there from Carlo.
I love the cue ball kind of back where it's at now, or real close to there. Still a little body movement there that we don't see from Carl very much, but or Carlo, excuse me. Looking at Carl, talking about Carlo, it's so confusing, but
I thought you were talking about my lovely cue action then, JJ.
yeah, I saw you practicing a little bit.
Carlo Biado.
Oh, he's gotten it done. Cut the lead to 8-6. Gives the crowd a little wave with the cue. He looks like he might be settling in a bit, gentlemen.
Yeah, and you could just hear the crowd there. Obviously on your TV screens you're not getting the same vibe that we're getting here in the comm box, but it's loud out here.
Definitely needed a bit of momentum, as we touched on. He was a little bit demoralized. Oy definitely got some good fortune objectively to begin, but a few breaking runs and so on, and this could be a tight one. I think we can all kind of feel it in here. Very much up in the air. Biado set to break. What do you look for on this break, JJ?
Well, he's not unloading on him, that's for sure. He's made the corner ball. He'll stick to that left side where he's been pretty much the entire tournament. But what I see is maybe a Carlo that's not settled still, a little nervous or whatever is a little off, and kind of going with it with the crowd in the moment to try and ease things a little bit, I think.
Oh, I like that, Jeremy. That's very astute. Sometimes you just find yourself where you are. Let's not forget he's still a champion. He's worked a long time for moments like these. You're not always going to feel perfect out there, but he doesn't have a lot of give up in him. And he navigated that last rack nicely, chalking the tip. Rack number 15.
Thank you, the 15th rack. Carlo Biado is trailing by 8 racks to 6 and will break.
Well, you know, after 14 games, we could have it 7-7, but usually the score line's a little off. So 8-6 to me is just about as close a match as we could be expecting.
3 ball down, 1 ball tracking towards the top right. Will the 6
green.
interfere?
Oh my.
It does, and he wore that one on his sleeve. He'll have to push out or navigate a kick safety of sorts, it looks like.
And it looks like, you know, if we were playing a long-term race, you know, a race to 50, a race to 35 or something, that cut break and really playing the speed with the 1 looks like the thing to do. But as I talked about earlier, it seems like in the big moments, in the big tournament situations,
Push out called.
the cut break or something a hair more controlled seems to find its way to maybe lose sometimes. And that's why I was saying I really liked Oi going ahead and smashing him.
Nayoki options.
Watch out,
possible.
9 ball.
Wow.
Ooh, he may not get this back with that queuing.
It's possible as the match unfolds, Jeremy, in the later stages of a set, the balls are a little bit dirtier or the table's a little more broken in. I know they clean them.
Yeah, absolutely. They have to get a little something on them, but pretty pristine conditions here. And I guess the rail first, even though the rail first doesn't offer any kind of position, it doesn't, unless you really want to like hit it light, which you're not going to do very often. I think he's got to pass this myself. I mean, I rarely like to pass rollouts, but with the queuing and the way these sit, what do you think, Carl?
Oh, he accepts it, plays
Oh,
a
he
kick
hit it
safety of
beautiful.
sorts, and what a shot, Nayoki. Carl, that was a beauty now, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was indeed. Don't blame him for taking that on. Good things could happen, and they sure did.
Yeah.
Carlo's going to go 2 rails here.
You think? I
Can
thought
he
he may kick underneath this, and because the cue ball could go over towards, you know, if he tries to catch it kind of thinly and not move the 1 that much, just past the side a little bit, I think he's got some good things that can happen coming across with the cue ball.
Extension, please.
Yeah, I think you're right. When I first looked, I thought it was a little steep, but he can certainly get in behind it where he needs to get.
Yeah, he could even go for that corner by the pink if he wanted. I wouldn't try that myself. I think it's now he could kick at it and draw the cue ball back behind the purple. That's what he's trying. Well, okay, he may get the position back here.
No.
He's done all right.
This is what you can see. Matches can change. The good rolls can change. He's got the jump cue.
And that's why earlier when a jump was taken out instead of the kick shot on the 1, a lot of times when you're playing the 1 ball, you have 7 or 8 balls on the table, and
Extension call.
kick shots come away clean a lot early in the rack, right?
Yeah, Carlo's just sat in his chair there, kind of praying he gets a good leave. Oh, he's going for the point in the corner, though.
Watch out,
Cue
cue
ball.
ball. Yeah.
Look at this.
Ball shots, ball in hand.
Look at this. Ball in hand
Start the
for
clock, please.
Biado, trying to narrow the gap to 1 rack.
I think we're going to chalk that one down as a bad shot.
Now these lay very nice. Purple next to the green. That's a little bit of, he's got to get from the pink to the purple, but not too much difficulty here in this rack. Well, a little short there. Shouldn't be a problem, but nerves are high.
Use the whole pocket there, boys.
Yeah, I thought I was going to stay up.
Yeah, well, the outer tables that would have, of course, they're no longer with us, but that little extra heat on the TV table, I think, opens the pocket just a little bit more.
Yeah, and when I was watching him play the shot, I just had it in my head he was going to play for the 6 in the same pocket as the purple 5.
Yeah, kind of threw you off there probably, seeing that light speed. As Nick talked about, you know, they don't really write them down how they go in, right? As long as you get that bead on your side for the scoreboard.
Indeed, Double J. And get that bead on his side. He does. Carlo Biado has narrowed the gap to 1 rack. 8-7 lead for Nayoki Oi. Biado set to break, and his last break looked awfully good. The 6 just came in the way of a clean look at the 1 in the top right, going with the cut break Jeremy was talking about, and this is truly anyone's match.
Yeah, it's been a funny old game. Biado started out with the first 4, then Oi won the next 8, and now Biado's won the last 3.
Yeah, big streaks here in our second semifinal.
Nice look there at the past champions of yesterday. We're creeping up on Double J. Rodney Morris there. Earl, 5-time winner. The Rifleman, Buddy Hall. So many legends have won this thing over the years. 1976, first U.S. Open won by Mike Siegel. All-time great player, of course. Going to be a new winner this year, a new name etched in history. Lucius Yap awaits the winner of this match, the phenom from Singapore. All Oi can do right now is watch.
The 16th rack. Carlo Biado to break, trailing by 8 racks to 7.
We talked about an all-Asian Final 4. Well, it could be Carlo goes on all Southeast Asian finals. When we talk about that, you're a lot of times thinking, well, we have 2 Filipinos in the finals, but not this year. Singaporean with the sweet stroke and the steady hand. Now this 1 ball isn't really agreeing as far as an offensive play, but he's still got to like having a good look at the 1.
Yeah, this is quite a good opportunity to lock Oi up in a hook.
Yeah, I'm not sure he can just use the 5 so simply. Does this bank go?
I think he's just rolling the cue ball forward.
Stunning it like that. Oh, what a huge mistake. And it didn't look necessary. I think I would have stunned and played behind the 7 myself.
I love that shot. Love that shot.
Behind the 7?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised he didn't just put a bit of left English and let it spin up behind that 7.
Yeah. It looked pretty easy to me, and being so close to it, accuracy should have been at a premium. Always got to be careful here.
Can he get the 1 ball round the table and back up and try and follow the cue ball down bottom rail? Is that
yeah, maybe stun it downward. You know, I think he needs to tighten the 1 up a little bit, so you may not want to follow your ball. It'd be more of a stun shot, but he could play the 1 across softly, trying to get it on the side rail and follow behind the pink. It's a dangerous shot, but like that. That's the shot I was looking at right there. There's such a big wall there. So
beautiful shot there from Oi.
And kept it simple. That's, you know, when the pressure's on, if you can keep it simple, that's the way to go. But really a unforced error on the opening shot here in this rack by Carlo on such what I thought was a pretty simple safety.
Yeah, he's trying to hit the 2nd rail. There you see.
Oh, he hit it beautifully.
Okay.
Well, decisions, Carl. I mean, you probably bleed the cue ball behind the 7, just 1 rail, putting the 1 on the back rail.
Yeah, there's no point in getting giddy here. Got such a good opportunity. Needs the 1 ball to slow down.
Yeah, he's overhit the 1 a lot. Yeah, that's going to be very upsetting. And you could see it a little jumpy with the stroke, right?
Oh yes, it's getting tense. Not tense where we're sat, of course. We're just loving life in the box.
Oh, I'm a little tense, Carl.
Yeah, a little sweaty brow for myself
Both
as
men,
well.
both men clearly feeling the gravity of the situation. Nice touch there from Biado, snookering him behind the 9.
Yeah, he needs a little love from the 9, but can Oi get to the rail?
Yeah, he can, but if he tries to cut it in, you know that scratch across the corner is looming. He goes rail first here. I might have to kick under this. I don't know. Oh, he's swerving the cue ball.
Well, as you said, Jeremy, looming, but avoided. Great shot from Nayoki Oi. He'll have to show us something else.
Yeah, look how quick he pulled the trigger on this once he got over it. A bit of uncertainty, but he knew he had to gamble. Kick this with a little top English here. Bring the cue ball back behind the 6.
Oh, he played it cross-side and he made it. What a shot from Oi.
The crowd are loving the Nayoki Oi. Kicks 2 balls in to stay at the table.
He's got to settle himself. Even oh, that's all right. Crazy, right? Look at Carl looking to the pool gods.
But this is not easy.
Heck no, this is a tough shot, especially after coming off a couple of kind of emotional shots, right?
And he's got the beeps in the backswing. And he's hit it thickly, guys. 8-7 Oi leads. Biado has the pink hanging in the hole. This match is, well.
Yeah, this is why we need the smaller pocket. Because if that was on a bigger pocket, that would have probably swallowed it up. And, well, where's the drama? There you see, he just caught the point, stayed up. This is why we're going to get a lot more drama on the smaller pocket.
Yeah, and I think Matchroom and a lot of the pool world recognized that. Was it 2019 at the Moscone Cup when they tightened the pockets and everyone was on the edge of their seat because they knew, you know, with a high tense situation, anything could be missed.
Yeah, I still believed he could go a hair tighter as well.
I do too. 4 1/8. 4 1/8
4
even.
inch, I like 4. Especially with the slide.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Oh, oof, he
Ooh,
caught
yeah,
a little point going in there.
JJ.
Yeah.
I thought that as well. It's getting tense.
At the end of the day, it was a beautiful little shot there. Came 1-2 rails and out with the spin. What a match this is, gentlemen. Forgive the digressions.
Yeah, it was a race to 11 at the start of the match. If Biado knocks these 2 balls in, it's going to be a race to 3.
Just has to mind that side pocket as far as the traveling of the white ball.
Yeah, should hit about a diamond shy of there, even though he got much closer than I thought he would.
He's fallen perfect on this 9 ball.
He's picked up the pace a little bit as well.
Oh, he's feeling invigorated right now. It's 8-8, race to 11. Biado retains the break. Thriller down here on the boardwalk. Semi-final U.S. Open match to meet the great Singaporean Alyushis Yap in the finals.
Yeah, what about this? Biado wins the first 4. Oi, the next 8. Biado, the next 4. It's tied, 8-8.
Yeah, this has been a swingy a match as one can have.
Yeah, and I wouldn't doubt that it totally changes and we go game for game from here in this race to 3.
Just going back to the pocket size, JJ, there's literally no value in a big pocket, is there?
No, you don't really always get the guy who's playing the best pool that week winning. First off, you don't have the separation that I think the sport needs. And, you know, just like every other sport, I mean, you know, the big events, they make it tough.
Yeah, and do you know what I don't like about the big pocket? Well, there's a lot of things I don't like about it, but one thing I don't like is on a bigger pocket table, you feel like you're not always going to play lock-up safeties, are you? You're not always going to get someone in behind the ball.
Settle down, please. The
Sometimes you just want to leave it with distance.
I
feel like you can just, these guys just cut the ball in from everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think in time, with the tighter pockets, you'll see just a higher level of pull from these guys.
Yeah, you'll see more safeties. The break shot becomes a little harder. So he's made a ball. One ball's going over towards his corner. The 8 ball. Where's the 8 ball?
He's getting those 2 balls to come in that same kind of area every time very consistently with this cut break, and not getting the value out of the placement on the 1.
Is it a little soft, this break? I know we're supposed to be using a forceful break. Is it on the borderline?
I think it is, and I saw it a little bit this week.
Push out called.
The only thing that I saw that needed to happen is there was never a warning. You know, as soon as you throw out a few warnings, well, the players are going to say, I don't want that warning.
I'd be having a little look at Marcel, the referee. No doubt about it.
Play again, please, Carlo. Reset the clock, please.
Interesting to see Oi return.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought you could play the overcut on the 1 or even play the 1.
The overcut looks like it lays nicely to cut it high.
He's going to try and bury this, and I'm again surprised, like you said, that Oi didn't take this on.
Yeah, especially when Biado's won the last 4 acts as well. He's going to be feeling good about this shot.
Well, not only that, Oi's got to know he usually makes this if he's shooting.
Wow. Ball in hand.
Well, he did make it.
Oi knew what he was doing.
Yeah, that was smart play from Oi.
Start the clock, please.
Yeah, frankly, a crafty return. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. One could easily be terrified of giving a shot like that back to the great Carlo Biado, but here he is finding himself with ball in hand.
Well, he's not following the cue. Is he going to open up the 5 here? Is he opening up the 5, trying to gain position on the 3?
Interesting.
If he is, he wants to go into the 5, right?
Right, yeah. You don't want to go into the rail. You want to go into the 5 itself, hoping that it doesn't get even more funny on top of the 6. But, you know, somebody isn't seeing things right at the table. We have all the excuses up here in the booth because we're a ways away. But, you know, Oi passed that shot quickly, and Carlo got down on it quickly. So someone didn't see the scratch, and I think Oi did, right?
Yeah, 100%.
There's got to be something going on with that last shot.
Oh, beauty there.
Yeah, that's worked out good. He's got an angle.
Yeah, he's got to kind of float this a little bit. It's not super soft, but he is a little behind the 3. Well, that looks just about ideal to me. I mean, the screen says a little thin, but I think he pulls this ball past the side easily. A little draw stroke. Oh no, he's following. Stunning 2 rails.
Perhaps tickling the 8. He is stunning at 2 rails. Needs to miss the 9. Okay. Lovely.
Yeah, always entitled to be a little bit edgy out of there. Of course, both players.
Well,
yeah, needs to make sure he gets back out for the 8 here.
yeah, he's gone 3 rails here, so doesn't want to be short. That's the big mistake, is short. You know, Carlo, he's got a World 9-Ball Championships, no U.S. Open, of course, and he wants it ever so badly, but always threatened some big events before. So
yeah, he's been to semi-finals of
the World 9-Ball, right?
Yeah, well, he beat me in the quarters. Still have sleepless nights about that match.
But you had to love the interview afterwards. Maybe not so much,
No,
Carl.
definitely didn't love it.
He effortlessly pulls it back here. Almost straight in on this 9-ball. Does sink it. 9-8 lead for Nayoki Oi. We're going to take a quick break. It's the semifinals of the 2021 U.S. Open. We're in Atlantic City. It's going to be a great finish down here. We'll be back. Rack
Thank
18.
you, the 18th rack. Nayoki is leading the match by 9 racks to 8 and will break.
And I'll tell you, excuse me, Nick, I'll tell you the differences I feel in the two matches we've seen so far today is not to take anything away from Yap and Okuyo, but them two were playing the match, and these two seem more like they're fighting for the match. A little more emotion involved. And of course, they all want it, but man, really enjoyed this one so far.
Yeah, cue ball got kicked. If it didn't get kicked, it'd have been straight in on this one ball.
Well, with the 3 hanging, do you go for a cross side here, or you stay a little bit more offensive, you know, knowing that if you can get the 1 down, probably get out and maybe get on the hill?
Yeah, I like attacking the table, but we'll see what Oi gets up to.
Yeah, well, you can't easily cross the 1 over and play safe with the 3 hanging either, because then you give up a jump shot maybe on a 1-3 combo. I think he's going for the cross side. Ooh,
Foul stroke.
lost the cue ball.
Ball in hand.
And Jeremy, as you were saying before, I couldn't
Start the
agree.
clock, please.
I couldn't agree more. This is a proper battle down here on the boardwalk. You can feel it.
And Oi not recognizing, I think, on that cross bank, you had to play with a little lighter speed to let it spread a little bit. And I wouldn't say the moment getting the best of him. He stayed aggressive throughout, so. Looks like the purple. I'm sorry, Carl, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just going to say it wasn't an easy shot, as you said, but he went for it. A couple of scratches in the last 2 racks. He's had a little bit of everything this match.
Yeah, and I believe the purple does pass the 6, so the 5 does pass the 6. So just screw the cue ball out a little bit here. And it's weird when you get a little nervy. It seems like when you're on the sidelines watching it, like they're almost overhitting everything a little bit, right?
Mm.
But hey, as long as they're going down, you're going to see that a lot of times, where maybe you're not quite as smooth, but the main thing is getting across that finish line.
Okay.
Yeah, this 9 ball started a race to 11, then it went to race to 3.
Carlo
Now,
Biado wins
it's
the
a
rack.
race to 2.
That it is, Carl. Gets no closer than this, literally. 9-9. Race to 11 in the semis here to play the U.S. Open finals later this afternoon. Biado wiping it down here. Oi reflecting on that cross side, hoping he gets another chance at the table.
Yeah, and I didn't mind the cross side, Nick, not at all.
Yeah,
I thought being offensive there was okay. He just didn't get the strike he wanted.
It was insightful what you said. There's the trophy that they're playing for, the Barry Berman. Beautiful looking thing. I'm sure they'd both love to throw that in the suitcase or perhaps have it sent back home. But either way, etching their name in history. It was insightful what you said, Jeremy. Perhaps a bit too much speed, a little softer. It would have spread, as you called it, lengthened out a little bit. And of course, cue ball finding the bottom left-hand corner was not coveted for Oi.
Yeah, it wasn't sitting perfect like a natural bank. I think if it was natural, we would have saw Oi play it at a much quicker pace, getting down on the ball. But with the 3 hanging, I thought it was a tough situation to play safe. And probably what we're going to have here is an exchange of the next 2 games and get on to that case game. Game number 21.
Yeah, and then we want the break, all the balls to go locked up, don't we?
They always do anyways, Carl.
And then like they have about 15 shots each. And
very rarely is there a break and run, it seems, at Hill.
He's been making balls, but he just hasn't gotten a look at the 1 so far. Usually it goes right around where he's breaking from. Corner ball flies in, the 1 is tracking. And once again, Jeremy, as you've touched on,
Yeah.
these two balls seem to always impede
It's incredible.
his sight at the one. And perhaps...
But that's not fluky, right?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah,
At a point, you have to take a look at this, right?
No, absolutely. It's just like Shane and I talked about, or I think you and I talked about, Shane, but Shane and I talked about certain breaks where you always get that ball coming 3 rails and kissing the cue ball in the center of the table. So there's definitely some consistencies, not just the corner ball going in, not just the one tracking, but the other object balls as well.
The depth of the position play off of the break in 9-ball has gotten so advanced that, well, echoing the stuff Jeremy was just saying, not an easy push out here, gentlemen. What do we like?
No, the rollout is, you got to roll out to not the jump shot, I believe.
Yeah, he's going to roll over
Nayoki, your
there
choice.
for the kick shot. Last time out, Nayoki took this shot on, didn't he? Obviously, it was a little different, but I mean, he didn't pass it back.
Yeah, I think you got to go to the short rail here. If you play one pocket, you can get them up on the 3-6 pretty easily here. If you come into the one with a little spin and you cut it a little bit, you'll come off the side rail and up towards the 3 and 6. But there's another word for it, but it's a nervy shot. Let's say that.
Well, Jeremy, of course, resides in the One Pocket Hall of Fame, and these sorts of shots vital for that game. Different game for a different time. Looks like he is going for it, though, Jeremy.
That's the speed. Now you overhit it, but you see how the cue ball was tracking there, right? He's not going to get what he wanted.
Okay then, Biado.
Did he get him on the 2-ball?
No way. Surely not.
I don't think so.
Kneeling down. I mean, he's getting down rail height to look. Perhaps the 8 is also slightly... The referee keeping a keen eye.
No, I think he's okay.
It's in.
Yeah, you'd have to say the current situation, the scoreline, and where the match has gone. That was a sporty shot. He needs to get this cue ball back.
Yeah, and I think the stroke back as well. A lot cleaner with the stroke there. I've seen a few that I thought were a little overhit from Carlo, but that's, hey, to be expected. Talk about it all the time. When the adrenaline gets going, you're gonna overhit the ball a little bit.
Same again. He's played that well. He's got a nice angle. Pink 4-ball is next after potting this red 3.
Love what you said before, too, Jeremy. He's nervy, but he's going with it. He's not running away, so to speak.
Yeah, I've felt the opposite end of that, where you get really steery, trying to make the game easy on yourself instead of like really just taking charge and doing what you do best, which is kind of take control of the game. And Carlo's definitely one of those players. It's an awful feeling when you get to steering the ball, though. Oh my goodness.
1, 2, 3 around, or are we pinching this one back? From this angle, it looks like
3.
a little pinch back. Well,
I think 3 around here.
maybe
Yeah.
Carlo concurs. Nice look at that backhand. Beauty there.
Speed is perfect.
Yeah, that was the key shot there in this rack. He's looking good to take. Well, he'll be the first player to get on the hill.
And I don't think a judgment error by Oy. I think it was difficult either way. He kind of knew Carlo had something in mind for that rollout.
I think that was a heavy contact, yeah. He's
Yeah.
getting the ref to clean it, so that signalled. You could hear it, couldn't you?
Jumped,
Just kicked
jumped
a little bit, right? Yeah.
in the air.
But that's the good thing with
Thanks.
pool in snooker and English 8-ball, where what we play in England, the kick can really affect, and you can miss the pot. But often when you get a kick or a skid in 9-ball, it still sort of goes in the pocket.
Yeah, it just kind of depends. Now that one, usually when they kick at the heavier speed, lighter speed now, it's a different story. But if it's a heavy, when the cue ball has some speed on it, normally it doesn't affect the shot.
First lead in a while. Sigh of relief there for Biado, and that 8-ball went in. The hill with the finals looming. He's trying to stay calm and hoping to finally get a look at that one ball in the top right, or anywhere else for that matter.
Would you change to a head-on one ball here?
No, I think he's been hitting the cut break consistent. I know he's not getting a look, but he's hitting it okay.
That's my point. He's hitting it how he wants, and he's consistently getting snookered, right? So, but seeing his opponent break the ball so well from that side, I mean, he probably doesn't go away from it, because we saw it the other night in a match that he lost, and he never changed, watching his opponent break and run mini racks from the opposite rail. So
he might just chance his arm and do the same break and just hope there's a little window this time.
Maybe just a smidge more mustard, gentlemen. Just a little more mustard, maybe, to kind of get those balls that have been conglomerating in the middle to spread a bit. We see Oy with his eyes closed, almost meditative. All he can do now is sit and hope and stay ready, because an opportunity could present itself, and naturally he'll be looking to capitalize. So much on the line: the title, the glory.
20. Carlo Biado is breaking on the hill.
Well, we've
leading
loved
by
this match
10
so
racks to
far.
9.
And the crowd, they've also loved it too.
And I think the crowd will tell us something about what happens after this break shot, to be honest with you. I think they're going to get into a moment if Carlo has a shot.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jeremy. Biado's set to break. He's eyeing it down. Watch that brown ball, the 7. He's been making that pretty consistently. The 1 has been banking up to that top right-hand corner. 7 in.
Definitely more speed, like you called, Nick. Those 2 balls still right around there, though.
It's amazing, isn't it, boys? I mean,
yeah.
This is incredible. I mean, it's happening a lot, so, you know, it's, as you said, JJ, there's a case for switching it up.
Yeah, it's those same 2 balls, just, you know, kind of meandering near the head string there every time, it seems. And again, a difficult rollout situation. They're always difficult at this level, but whew. We'll see if the last one has any effect on Oy's decision, whether he takes this rollout or not.
could he maybe try to bank the 6 by the 5 to perhaps complicate the matter if Oy generates some initiative?
Yeah, nothing wrong with
Push
that,
on cold.
as long as it puts the cue ball where you want it as well. Just like,
Your choice, Nayoki.
Okay.
you know, any other game or sport, when you have the worst of it, you're trying to lengthen the game. I guess he just banks this away and draws the cue ball to the side rail and fall on the end rail behind the 3-4 here. Bank the 1 towards the purple.
Hand on his hip, considering his options.
I mean, there's a pretty decent area to get safe, it seems like. Oh, no, he can play the 1 down by the 6, Carl, and go forward into the pink with the cue ball?
I just can't really see it from the camera angle, if I'm being truthful.
It looks like to me he can get enough of the left side of the 1 to play it by the 6 mildly and just roll the cue ball. Look at this little witty shot. And it goes in, and oh no, he's stuck to the pink. Oh my goodness, he didn't deserve that.
Just a dreadful roll there. My
And Carlo, who
beautiful angle here. Oh my goodness.
and Carlo's felt he's had the worst of it on the rolls. Well, no time better to get one now,
Yeah,
right?
we did speak about how you've got to be patient in pool.
Look at how this cue ball just nestles up on the pink plate. Such a gorgeous safety. Was trying to put it right there. But the 1 did not cooperate and dropped in that.
Yeah, he needs a bit of pace on this kick shot, I think. Give it a chance.
Watch outside pockets.
Gave it a bit of
he's
pace.
going to love this. He's going to love this, I think. Oh, wow. It opened up.
Squeaked out. It was a tremendous effort, though, and this is far from easy.
Well, Carlo will have to make a decision. If he cuts it in, he probably just goes into the 6 with the cue ball and takes his chances. Could try to put him behind the 6 with the cue ball. I like him shooting. Usually tries and attempts at these tough
Extension
shots,
called.
and he usually does it really well.
If he shoots, does he run into the 6, Jeremy?
I think so, because you don't want to roll it. Remember, a 2-ball in the middle of the match, he kind of rolled at and missed it by quite some distance, and that may offer some position, even though he may be pulling this for the 3 in the side. Oh, he's overcut it badly. The cue ball is going to open up. Always going to have a chance.
This has been a beautiful game of pool. It really has.
Couldn't agree more, Carl.
Well, we'll see how good Oy is feeling. I mean, he can knock this ball away, and there is a safety there, but for them, usually Oy's trying to knock this in and get underneath the 3 for shape. Wow, what a... Oh, I thought he made it. I didn't think he hit it perfect, but I thought it was going to fall.
Yeah, that 2-ball is jammed right in the pocket. This is awkward.
Oh, yeah, and that's a perfect example of that extra 1/4 inch of tightness we have in the pockets this week.
Yeah, it was a little fat, so it shouldn't have gone in. It didn't go in. If he gets on this 3-ball, I believe he's
Watch
won.
out.
Behind the pink here? Behind the pink?
Watch out.
Oh,
That's
my
gotta go.
word. This is unbelievable.
Oh, man.
You could play that shot 10 times and not land there.
Well, he's lighting it up, but he needs to focus on this one. That is just incredible.
Well, you know, we talked about it all week. The deep pockets, right? The deep slate really makes a
Thank you.
ball
Settle down,
barely
please.
hanging. Very unpredictable coming out with the cue ball.
Now he has got a chance at pocketing this in one of the sides if he hits it full.
Yeah, but watch him cover up the 3 with the... Oh, he hit it hard. I thought he would hit it much lighter. He's going to use the pink again.
Out here. What a match this has been.
Oh, that's why the real smart people have come to realize it's not really... The beauty in the game isn't always the break and run, is it?
Yeah, truer words never spoken. What do you like here, Jeremy? Carl?
I think you just got to kick 2 at it, trying to let the cue ball come back up. Maybe you cut it in. Ooh, like that. Watch out, cue ball. Sayonara.
Ball in hands.
It was a great shot, too.
Yeah, so...
Start the clock, please.
Carl, let's see if he just makes sure he avoids the 6 here.
Yeah, this is all you can ask for when you're on the hill. You just need a chance to win the match, and this is your chance, Carlo. Biado.
He's going to draw the ball. I talk about him all the time using the draw stroke. Some would just shoot the 3 in the other corner and stun up the table, but he likes the draw stroke.
Yeah, a go-to of sorts for Biado, as you've echoed all week. Uncomfortable shot for most. Navigations from the purple to the green are absolutely paramount.
Well, a little flat.
A little short of the mark.
Good thing for him is the 5 is close to the pocket. So even though he's got to pound it, he's got to cheat it a little bit. Doesn't figure to miss. Smart shot. Instead of coming across, using more of the draw.
Well, it all resides on this, gentlemen.
Well, if this 9-ball disappears, you just listen to the reaction from the crowd. It's about to go off. This 9-ball to play Yap in the final.
And it's in. What a match that was.
Yeah, and hats hats off to Nayoki for another great event. 2 semifinals in a row. Carlo Biado, though.
Former world champion. He's going to try to add a U.S. Open title. The ever classy Nayoki signing shirts, mingling with the fans. Of course, bravo. What a showing for Oi, Carl.
Yeah, it was a shame there had to be a loser. It was the match that had everything. Nayoki played his part in an absolute pool classic. He's edged out 11-9 from Carlo. This was the 9 ball that sealed his fate.
You could feel just the utter relief from Carlo jumping in the air with a little 360, by the way. Boy, respectful. These two have the utmost for each other. I know we're going to hear from Carlo momentarily. He stands by with Michael Bridge. Michael.
Thank you very much. Yes, Carlo. Wow. What a sensational semi-final, Carlo. Congratulations. How are you feeling?
I'm happy, you know. Even I don't have a luck in the games in the beginning. I'm leading 4-0, but Nayoki, he came back. He's a good competitor, you know. I'm happy I won in the semi-final.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a classic. What was the nerves at the end? Did you feel nervous?
Yeah, until now I'm still shaking.
Were you shaking on that 9 ball as well there?
Yeah.
One of the biggest shots of your career, but you got there. You're through. What does it feel to make the US Open final?
You know, I will do my best in the final. I hope it's going to be a good match.
And Yap has had a fantastic week like yourself. It could be a classic.
Yeah, thank you.
You excited? You ready? Oh, actually, you can take some time. Maybe have a little
Still
relax.
shaking.
You're still shaking? Well, you can have a little relax. Maybe get some food. Yeah. You are in the US Open final. Many congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I think.